right, it's 5:30. We're heading out to the farm for a little headlight harvesting. I had a market last night, which was great, and then I have 2 markets today, so I just don't seem to have a whole heck of a lot of time. So we're gonna do some harvesting, and then we're gonna hit up 2 markets today, and we're gonna see how it goes. So do me a favor, stick with me. Check that out. See that light up in the sky? And then on the horizon, that light just over the tree line? That is from 100 acres of inside greenhouses. 100 acres of greenhouses that are lit up at night. It is amazing how much light that puts off. That is just crazy. All right, here we are out at the farm. Now, some of you might be asking yourselves, why is he doing this? Why didn't he pick this stuff the other day? And for what I've found from my experience this year is when you pick any produce first thing in the morning, when it's covered in dew and it's nice and cool, it's going to have the longest possible shelf life. I don't have very much in the way of cold food storage, so the fridge in my garage fills up pretty darn quick. So things like Swiss chard, things like kale, things like the herbs, lettuce, those are all things that I go out to the market the morning of and harvest and bag just to keep it as fresh as possible. Okay, we got some kale, we got some Swiss chard, we got some green onions and some leeks, and what do I got? I got some more cabbages, some cilantro, and I'm pretty sure I threw some dill over there. Okay, gotta go do some washing, some bagging, and then get the rest of the stuff loaded up. Let's go. Okay folks, so after the first market experience, I decided to go to Walmart and pick myself up a super expensive $80 canopy, and I'm reusing some of the tables that I use in renovations. You'll probably see some paint marks on there, maybe a grinder mark on the edge of the table. My whole goal this year was doing this as bare bones on a budget of essentially zero. So we had an extra set of king sheets for our bed. So I skeefed that early in the year. The sheet does a really good job of covering both of those 6-foot tables to pretty it up just a little bit. And obviously I use the, the mattress wrap thing, as well. I'm not a big fan of this thing blowing around. I just don't like the look of it. I don't like how it bumps into customers when they're standing there. So I kind of pull it straight down, wedge it under the leg, and then I'll tie up the excess so the side's not flapping all over the place. Again, I'm sure that there's clips and things that I could do, but that seemed really cheap and both my hands work fine. So why not? I like to use a bit of a riser so that have some height differences on the table. So essentially, instead of like making something out of wood, I just use some of the containers that I brought produce in, just to keep things simple and keep less things in my truck. The less things that I take to market, the better chance that I remember them all, and I don't make a complete schmozzle of my packing up process. What am I doing there? I think I'm talking to another vendor. Anyway, I talked about the mattress cover. I use that for the top of the risers. Obviously, it's the same color, so it kind of gives a little bit of a, a little bit of a nice effect. I can, you'll see. I can stack things up on here. Every market so far this year, I've set my table up just a little bit differently to see how I like it and to see what other vendors say and to listen to what the customers say. So I've kind of taken, at this point in the season, what am I, 6 or 7 weeks into doing markets? I think I have a fair, decent idea how I want it to look going in. It just depends a lot on the products that I'm bringing. These are some cheapo little $8 boxes from Walmart. They have certainly served the purpose. I think I might take that design, alter it, and make my own boxes out of some scrap wood this winter. I only have 8 months to twiddle my thumbs, so that would be kind of a nice little project. I don't have very many of these. I only have the 5. But they seem to have done. Well. And again, I've organized and changed these up. How on their side, standing up. What's the best way that the product looks in there? So I've kind of played around with it, which I think is what anybody needs to do if they're going to market and they've got different containers. Just change it up and see what looks good at the end of the day. I have pictures from every single market that I've been to. So that is going to be that'll be part of a roundup later in the year where I go over the evolution of my table, what I'd learned, and some of the responses from customers and vendors. So now that I've got things basically set up, it's just a matter of filling things up. Because I do a lot of harvesting in the mornings, I just don't seem to have a lot of extra time, to be having everything perfectly bagged up and just absolutely ready for market, like you see on a lot of the professional market gardener channels out there. So I bring as much as I can so that I can get my table set up with a bit of stuff and then start bagging it there. I think a couple of things is I'm always busy. I'm always doing something, and that will attract attention just in and of itself. Me constantly going back, loading bags, bringing them up, and it gives me a chance to chit chat with the other vendors and any of the early customers. Speaking of that, I've been very, very surprised at how many people go to market early. And, some tables are barely even set up and they're out there doing their shopping. So I've learned not to be tardy. It sucks when you get there and you start setting up your table and you're watching people walk around with the produce that you're about to put on your table. So I try and get there as early as I can now. Basically what you're seeing here is just whatever, just me trying to figure out, what do I have that day? How's it going to look good? I change it up. I stand back. I look at it. I don't know. I don't want to say I obsess over it, but at the end of the day, I don't have a lot of stuff, so I got to make it look pretty. Okay, here's what it's looking like so far. Got the lettuce, got the herbs in the middle, some kale as garnish, as well as up front. Some Swiss chard from this morning. I have more carrots here that I got to elastic up. My living lettuce bowls. All the cabbage that I have left. My last thing of cauliflower. And I have some more leeks and green onions to clean up. Did a little harvesting in the yard this morning. Should have probably taken you with me, but I didn't. Grabbed some bee balm or bergamot. This is a couple of different kinds of yarrow in there. My purple spinach in the background, and then 2 of the sunflowers that I bought as from a fundraiser at last night's market. So just tried to pretty it up a little bit. Got some herbs going on. Right on. Hope it's a good day. First customer of the day.
Hello!
Hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
What are you grabbing?
Green onions.
Woohoo!
They look delicious. I can't wait to try them.
You grabbed a bag of lettuce last week.
Lettuce is fantastic. I was surprised at how much was in there. The bags are deceiving because I thought $5, we'll see. But yeah, I've had like 2 huge salads and I'm on still like half a bag left. So
Awesome.
yeah, and it was delicious.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, folks, here's a fast-forwarded drive out to Sylvan Lake. There's the lake there. From the time the market ends in Lacombe to when I have to hit the road is 1 hour. So a lot of times if I need more produce, I give the wife a buzz. She scoots out to the farm, grabs what I need, washes it up, bags it for me. I scoot home, have a quick bite to eat, grab that, load up, and head out. So here I am just driving by the beach. Nice little town. It's... probably the population is 5 or 6 times bigger in the summer as it is in the winter. There's a lot of summer cottages and summer homes there for the folks that can afford the $1 million down by the lake. Here's the little downtown area littered with bars and gift shops, and it's just a really fun place to hang out, and it's a great market crowd. All right, here at the second market, Sylvan Lake. This is a little change room area for one part of the beach, and this is my spot for the day, right across from the Hutterites. Woohoo! Gotta love some competition. Let me get set up here and I'll bring you back. Alright. Put a little oric spinach here just to make it look pretty. So this is the second market, obviously. And pretty decent traffic already. Started 5 minutes ago. Giddy up. God. I bought some of this beef jerky with red Savina habanero. Oh my stars. It is so warm. Alright. It's 8:30 at night. And I'm home. It was a good market. I wanted to have the camera running a bit more. But it's just tough. It's tough talking to people and trying to have a camera going and changing angles around and getting some people to play along as well. But anyway, hopefully I showed you a little bit of what a double market day consists of for me, and you know, how I set my table up and how I tried to, you know, compensate for the fact that I don't have a lot of the staples that people around here, you know, are gobbling up, but I can definitely change that in the game planning part of over the winter. So, if you enjoyed this, awesome. Thanks. Leave a comment. Give it a thumbs up. If you do want to follow along with somebody learning how to market garden and making every mistake along the way, go ahead and please subscribe. And be nice if you can share this, you know, so that a few more like-minded people can jump on board. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thanks a lot. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and we will see ya on the next one. Bye.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a gardening program.
Well, they look like onions, but they're not onions. They're my testicles.
Edit that stuff out.
Oh, edit that out.
Yeah, yeah.
Make me look like 10 years younger. All right, let's go.